Hey everybody, this is Ruben from Pop Goulash. I just wanted to reach out to everybody and say, hey, you can follow us on social media on Facebook at facebook.com/popgoulash. You can also follow us on Twitter at popgoulash. If you want to participate with the show, please feel free to email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. And we also have a voicemail number where if you want to leave us a voicemail, let us know how we're doing or have any suggestions for us, you can reach us at 224-325-4235. And we will see you soon. Thank you very much, and let's get this show on the road. What's up, poppers? It's Ruben. I am just going to give you a quick little intro to this week's episode. This is going to be the conclusion of our Tom episode. Will he be able to redeem himself after dropping that mother of all bombs that he doesn't really care for Rage Against the Machine? What in the fuck was that all about? We also will be back in full force next week. Dano is back. We've recorded the episode. It's in the can, and it will be out next Wednesday. All right. We're also going to be at C2E2 this upcoming weekend in Chicago at McCormick Place. Here. What's C2E2, you might ask? It's the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. It's the Chicago Comic-Con. I've gone every year. This will be my 6th year, I believe, going. I will be there all 3 days. Dana's going to be joining me on Sunday just to check it out. She came with me a couple years ago, and we all had a good time. So we're going to do we'll probably do a wrap-up after that. So I'm really looking forward to getting some new content out to you guys, getting Dana back into the fold. It feels like forever since we both sat down and actually recorded an episode. So I just wanted to let you know, reach out to us on social media. You can reach out to us at Facebook, facebook.com/popgoulash. You can also reach us at Twitter at popgoulash. You can email us at popgoulash42@gmail.com. You can also leave us a phone message at 224-325-4235. That is 224-325-4235. And I know I said this in the intro, but fuck you, I'm saying it again. We want to hear from you. Also want to give a shout out to the Mike Misery podcast. Good old Mike up in New York, laying it down every week, solo by himself, 30 minutes in, 30 minutes out. Guy's got some pretty awesome insights. Funny guy. Reminds me a lot of Bill Burr. And I also want to shout out the Inglorious Pastards. 3 guys that make me laugh my tits off every Wednesday when their podcast drops. Or Monday, whenever it drops. I don't know. I listen to it. They're good guys. Also want to give a shout out to the what's the name of the podcast? The When Whiskey Talks podcast. That's pretty funny as well. I dig those guys. Been listening to it for a little bit here. So jump on your iTunes. Give us a review. Give those guys a review. Review everybody. Give us 4 stars. Hell, you know what? Here's the deal. You give us 4 stars on 4, or is it 5? I don't know. You give 4 stars, 5 stars. I think it's 5 stars on iTunes. Jump on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. We'll read your review live on the air. If you give us a 2-star review, we'll read that too. You give us a 1-star review, we might tell you to go fuck yourself. Anyway, this is getting a little long in the tooth, so you guys have yourself a great week. We will catch you next week on the flip side. Here's Tommy. Because that drummer from that band is incredible.
Sevenfolds. I know, they're really good. They're a good band.
They're good, but I fucking hate them.
I know.
Like there are some of those bands where I'm like, these guys are really fucking good, but I can't stand them. I don't care much
for their stuff. You know who was like that for me? This is gonna sound bad because I'm gonna really piss people off. Rage Against the Machine.
Really,
dude. I like.
Yeah, but you don't like their politics.
There's no, it's not. It's not their politics. I don't even care about their politics. I can totally separate somebody's politics from their talent. Dude, I'm totally fine with that. Like Rage Against the Machine. Like there's about 2 or 3 songs that I really, really like, right? Like Down Rodeo, and a couple other ones that are like, yeah, these are really good tunes. like most of their stuff, I'm just like, oh God, it's the same thing over and over and over. And you're so fucking talented. Why are you doing this?
You know, the funny thing was, like, the first time I ever heard Rage was, it wasn't, what was the first single that they did? Not Killing in the Name. It was the one, shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Solo. I'm a solo.
I have it on my iPhone.
Yeah, but it was that particular.
How old am I? I have it on my iPhone.
But that song, like the middle breakdown where they're like dun 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 dun. I'm like, dude, you guys are ripping off Pearl Jam. You're ripping off Even Flow. Yeah. But I will say, I have seen Rage on 3 separate occasions.
Oh, I'm sure they're crazy.
They are one of the greatest live bands.
Know Your Enemy? Is that their first?
Know Your Enemy? No. It wasn't Know Your Enemy. All right, I'm gonna pause this so we don't get a bunch of fucking dumb shit, bull crap. So yeah, the first single that they put out was Freedom. And there's a breakdown in the middle of the song, and it's basically the exact same riff as the breakdown of Even Flow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck these guys. Yeah. And then I heard them do, they had a song on the Crow soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was
what
basically...
a great movie, by the way.
Dude.
But go ahead.
Yeah. And it's a great soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
And their whole thing was about, like, it had nothing to do with the movie. It was all about, like, the conquistadors that came through and, like, took over, like, Florida, you know, because that's what they did.
They've got the weirdest shit for topics for their songs.
And, but that song, I was like, damn, this song's got some meaning. And I told that to my buddy Andrew. I'm like, dude, I don't really like Rage, but this song's got some meaning. He's like, are you fucking retarded? Have you ever listened to any of their shit? It's all political. It all has meaning.
Everything they do is political. They're like, well, who's the one, System of a Down.
System of a Down.
I love System. I love those guys. Great music.
They're supposed to be coming out with an album this year.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
But like, dude, seriously, Rage. I saw Rage open up. I saw Rage tour with Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, and Atari Teenage. This group, like this electronic noise group called Atari Teenage Riot, opened up for him down in Tinley Park. Incredible show.
Wow.
And then I saw them at the Tibetan Freedom Concert.
Okay.
At Alpine Valley.
Okay.
And you know, of anybody that I know, you know how big of a Beastie Boys fan I am.
Huge. Yeah, I know.
Beastie Boys headlined in Alpine Valley that year. Because that was the year it was in 97. They played in 3 different continents. They played here. They played in Holland.
The Beastie Boys did.
No. The Tibetan Freedom Concert.
Tibetan Freedom Concert.
They had in 3 separate continents on the same day.
Oh, that's right.
So
right.
It was,
I remember
it was
that.
Alpine Valley. It was Holland, and I want to say maybe Africa or Asia.
It was somewhere. Yeah.
But there were 3 separate Tibetan Freedom Concerts that year, all congruent on the same day.
Yeah.
We got the luck of seeing the Beastie Boys because that was the year. It was the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Lonnie Baker Brooks.
Okay.
Eddie Vedder and the C- Band, Tracy Chapman, Rage Against the Machine, Run DMC. I might have said that already. Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
And like honestly, it was almost a co-headline between Rage and the Beastie Boys, and Rage destroyed.
Yeah.
Like there was at that point, like I'm like, fuck the Beastie Boys. We don't even have to stay for this shit because Rage just leveled the joint. Yeah. And then I saw them as Audio Slave with Chris Cornell at Lollapalooza in 2002. Dude, I'm telling you, Brad Wilk, Tim Comerford, and Tom Morello, one of the greatest 3-piece live bands I have ever seen.
Morello's ridiculously talented. There's no question that band, from an energy standpoint, and even, I mean, in their music, it's just everything is super angry and just oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, it's the reason why. I mean, despite the fact that they drive me crazy, it's the reason why I have probably a dozen songs on.
Oh, they're a great fucking band.
I probably have at least a dozen songs from them because it's that angry, and there's those times I need to be angry.
Oh yeah,
I need to really be angry at something.
But yeah, they were seriously, honestly, man. They were one of the greatest live bands I have ever seen. And I have seen a fuck ton of bands at a fuck ton of talent levels. Like, if you go from, like we'll just put the spectrum at Fish as far as musicianship. Because even if you don't like their music, you can't deny that they're incredible musicians.
What's his name is ridiculous.
Trey Anastasio is a guitar player. And then if you look at the Offspring, let's say on the other end of the spectrum.
Self-taught, 3-chord.
Like, Rage, I would put up there with Fish.
They're ridiculously talented musicians, and that was my point, is that for guys who are that ridiculously talented, I'm just not a big fan. I listen to the stuff that they do, and it's like, okay, I get it. I'm angry. But, like, after a while, it's like, okay, this song is the same as the previous song, which is the same as the song before that, which was the same as the song before that, and I can't,
Which is kind of what I respected when they finally, like, all right, hold on, I'm going to put a pause. All right, we're back. I just took a piss and got some more beers. Okay. But we were bringing up, of course, as I came back down to the Hood Cave, Tom's playing some fucking Smiths for me.
I had the Smiths going for him.
You're going to get us kicked off iTunes, dude.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Sorry.
No,
we'll have to edit that out.
It was fast enough.
We'll edit that out.
But I also told Tom that if I want to listen to anything that's uber emotional with some good music to it, I'll listen to A Perfect Circle.
Which is awesome shit. I mean, which goes back to my earlier comment that Maynard is a fucking lunatic, but he's a fucking genius.
Yeah,
his stuff is great. Whether it's Perfect Circle or it's Pussifer.
I can't get into Pussifer.
Dude, that first Pussifer album, the one with
well, there was that one song that they always played, Queen Bee.
Yeah,
my baby's got the thickness. Can I get a witness? I'm like, what the fuck, man? What are you? Are you
nuts,
drunk,
dude?
Look, I know you're making wine nowadays, but you need to step back from the winery and stop getting so drunk before you record your fucking
I was
going
to say, you heard the. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard that. And I don't want to advertise anybody else's podcast, but I don't know if you ever heard that.
We're all about, dude. Look,
dude, you know what? I'm going to mention Joe Rogan's podcast,
dude, because I listen to Rogan all the time. His podcast with fucking Maynard was incredible.
It was amazing, man. And he's just, I mean, what Maynard did, the whole the whole thing with him trolling Head from what do you call it?
Korn?
Head Welch from Korn. Yeah, with him trolling Head from Korn was kind of a douchey move. But
I don't know what that was all about.
I guess after Head came out, after Head
became Jesus.
Became Jesus. After Head came out as a born again Christian and left Korn, I guess. I don't know the whole story, but apparently Maynard went out and went out and posted like some big long rant that he was like, oh, I found Jesus too, and Head Welch, converted me to Jesus. And of course Maynard's a ridiculous, like atheist. Off the charts atheist. But I guess like Maynard, trolled Head the whole time.
That's
and was
hilarious.
Like, oh no, dude, yeah, I'm totally into Jesus. And Head was like, no. I guess they interviewed Head about it, and somebody asked him, and he was like, oh no, I think it's great that Maynard found him, and if I was part of that, that's awesome, this and that, and and then Maynard came out and said, look, yeah, I'm just fucking with him. So, well, I mean, I kind of appreciate the joke, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a douchey move. But,
yeah, but
whatever.
You know what? It is what it is.
It's fine. Like I said, I can always separate the politics from the talent, and Maynard is. Let's be honest.
One of the greatest voices in rock and roll.
One of the greatest voices in rock and roll, and Tool is one of the greatest. I mean, in terms of the stuff that they write, I was just talking with a friend of mine, who talking about Tool tickets because he couldn't get them. Fuck you! I got them, fucker. But we were talking about, Tool is one of those. I think it's one of those bands that they're hard to listen to. It's
a challenging listen.
It's sometimes. A challenging listen, and I put them in the same category as Rush.
Well, it's that very mathy prog rock.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I put them in that same category. They're there with Rush. You have to be, you have to want to listen to Rush or want to listen to Tool.
Oh, for sure.
You can't just put on Tool. Like, you can't just put on 46 and 2 or The Pot or whatever. And
or penis, Hooker with a penis.
Or Hooker with a Penis and go, oh, yeah, this is a great song. No, like, you have to, like, listen.
See, even still, like the 10,000 Days album, I still have a hard time getting through that record.
That's the one with no Lateralist is the one with Lateralist. I was gonna say, yeah. 'Cause that's the one where they changed timings.
Oh well, they changed timings
in a lot of songs, but Lateralist changes timings in every measure of the song.
Well, that's but 10,000 Days was the last album they put out. The Pot, yeah, and Jambi and
yeah.
That one, The
Pot is my favorite Tool song.
It's a good tune, dude.
It's
but
so
that album
angry.
is so ambient. There's so much ambient stuff going on in that record where it's a very subtle Tool record. It's not one of the, it's not Undertow where it's in your face the whole fucking record. You know, it's one of those where like,
or even I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm blanking on the name. Go ahead. 46 and 2. Inema.
The Inema record. Dude, that album.
That's another one. In your face. Just aggressive baseball bat to the fucking chin.
Yeah.
The whole time.
And even Lateralis to an extent. Now, for me, Lateralis, if you listen to the actual produced sequence to the record, it's kind of a tough listen. But have you ever heard of The Holy Gift?
No, what is that?
So basically, they took the album. Some nerd or
I already don't
geek.
Like it.
No, dude. They've taken Lateralis and re-sequenced the album in the Fibonacci sequence, which is like 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 or whatever the actual sequence is. Yeah. So they took the album and
1 2 3,
chopped it
5,
and rearranged
8, 13.
the album. And it makes more sense. It makes a hell of a lot more sense. And it's way more listenable.
Well, this is why he's a fucking genius, right? Because he's a crazy person.
Here's something crazy about that, though. I'm one of those guys that were like, when I'm going to see Pearl Jam and everybody's screaming, Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Eddie writes the lyrics maybe to most of the songs. You know what?
He didn't even write the lyrics to 10, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had the music written before he showed up.
The music was ready to go.
Okay.
But, like, he's not, like... Look, for me, a band is the entire part, okay? It's not like Bob Dylan. If you go to see Dylan, you're going to see Dylan. Fuck who his background band is. You know, you're going to see Dylan.
Right.
He was the guy that wrote the song.
Or you're going to see Springsteen, or you're going to see Mellencamp, or whatever.
Exactly. But for Tool, like... I remember reading an article not too long ago, and they were talking to Maynard, and maybe it was during the A Perfect Circle era, or it was talking about Pucifer stuff, but he was like, yeah, everybody keeps asking me about a new Tool album. He's like, I don't know. I don't even come in until the music's done.
Wow.
And then he puts the lyrics down.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's weird because I lose a little bit of appreciation that I had for him because
I don't though.
So much I know what you're saying because so much of what a band is the music, right? I mean, it's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I mean, like Rush. When I think of a band that's like Tool, and this is going to sound weird to people who aren't like crazy music people, right? When I think of a band who's like Tool, I think of Rush because it's that like you said, it's that very mathy. I need to use my head to listen to this type of stuff. And like Rush is one of those bands that like Peart writes all of the lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody else even touches a lyric.
Except for like the first two albums.
The first two albums. The first one
band.
he wasn't even on the album, right? With Working Man, which is probably one of their greatest rock songs, just pure rock songs.
Yeah.
Working Man, but yeah. So I guess I know what you're saying, but that bugs me because so much of what Tool does is the music, and like just the fact that like you can't tap your foot to Lateralus, right?
No,
because it's like 6 different time signatures.
Just remind me to burn you a copy of because I've resequenced it on my laptop for the Holy Gift. Remind me to burn you a copy before you cut out.
Okay, yeah, I'll have
dude,
to.
Honestly, like listening to the Holy Gift version of Lateralus as opposed to the actual released sequenced by them
version of it,
dude, it's 2 totally different records.
Okay,
and it actually makes Lateralis easier to listen to.
Yeah, because it is a tough.
It's a tough listen.
It
There-
really
'cause-
is a tough listen
'cause
because
there are,
your
like-
brain is doing a lot of
Oh,
things.
that's one of the things that I love
Yeah.
so much about Tool is that
Yeah.
their music isn't just like, oh, I'm going to put this on. No, you're going to put it on and you need to fucking listen to it, because if you don't fucking listen to it, you are totally like you're just like.
There's a great video on YouTube of Adam Jones. By the way, kind of a side note to Tool. There's a great video on YouTube of Adam Jones completely fucking up the riff to 46 and
Really?
2 live.
Nice.
Totally fucking jacks it up. He's just like, and he gets to the point where he gets so lost that like
Dude,
they
the
just
time
kinda
signature
stop.
in that on its like I've tried to play that
46
riff.
and 2. We did that for a while. I was in a band that played that for a while, and it's really hard. It's hard because it's
the
it's
guitar
just
and the drums.
repetitive.
Well, that
and the
guitar and the drums are the guitar, the bass, and the drums are playing three different times.
they're playing different time signatures, and the drums, and especially during that. Again, I'm assuming that the people who
Have
are
listened
listening
to
to
Tool.
this are listening to Tool and are somewhat music fanatics. That drum solo is ridiculous, and it's especially during that solo where there's no time on the drum solo, but everything else stays with where it's fucking crazy.
Well, it's kind of like in oh god, what song was it? It was a Zeppelin tune where the whole song was in 3/4 time, but in order to do the guitar, no, it was Money by Pink Floyd.
Money by
the
Floyd.
entire song is in 3/4 time, except for when they go to do the guitar solo and they put it
And
in
it's
4/4,
4/4.
and then they go back to 3/4
Yeah.
to do the rest of the
Well,
song.
those are other guys. That's another one.
Yeah.
When you talk about bands that are like Tool, it's Rush, it's Floyd, they're
Floyd
hard
is
listens.
They're hard listens, but like Floyd is more on the aggressive side of that.
Yeah, I mean, people think
Or no, I'm sorry. Tool is on the aggressive side.
Tool's
of
very
of
much
that.
on the aggressive side.
Floyd is more on the psychedelic end of it, where Rush is more on the like, let's just do this because it's mathematical and it's interesting.
Oh God, they're crazy people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't say that I'm a Rush fanatic.
No,
But I appreciate Rush, and there's some shit that they've done that's amazing.
I like Rush a lot. I like Floyd a lot. I like Tool a lot. I'm not a crazy fanatic of any of them, but
Oh, I'm a Tool fan, dude.
I'm a fan of. I would love to see any of the three. All three of the above. I would love to. Floyd, obviously, I'm never going to see.
No, none of us will ever see Floyd again,
Right.
especially now that Nick Wright is dead.
Yeah, well, that's going to make it a little bit harder. But
We'll have to see him in that great gig in the sky. See what I did there? Hardy har.
Hardy har. Well, most people think of Floyd though, and they only think of the Wall.
Wall.
And it's like,
sad.
oh God. Okay, so let me just say this: my favorite Pink Floyd song of all time, and every time it's on, like I have to roll the windows down and pull over and turn the radio up. Welcome to the Machine,
Dude, it's a good fucking tune.
dude.
Honestly,
It's like an acid trip in a song.
Wish You Were Here is my
Wish You Were Here is a
favorite
great
Floyd
song.
record.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that whole album
Oh, okay.
is my favorite Floyd album. Like, I respect the hell out of Dark Side of the Moon. I have 2 copies of it on CD.
Great.
2 different copies
Great
on
album.
CD.
Better than The Wall, by the way.
Better than The Wall, absolutely. But Wish You Were Here is my favorite
Yeah.
album by
Oh,
them.
for sure.
It's kind of like Queens of the Stone Age. For me, like, everybody's like, Songs for the Deaf. That was the big one that everybody loved.
Yeah.
It's a great album. Performance-wise, it is the spectacular not penultimate. It is the ultimate album, performance-wise.
Yeah.
But for me, my favorite Queens of the Stone Age, Rated R. The songwriting on Rated R is far superior to that is on Songs for the Deaf.
great
But
album.
the performance on Songs for the Deaf is far superior to the performance that is on Rated R. And that is largely in part to Dave Grohl's drumming.
Yeah.
So, but for me, like, dude, like, Wish You Were Here, Animals, dude, I just listened to Animals recently.
Animal's very good.
Oh, god damn it, Animals is an incredible record. Like, Floyd is seriously, like, the fact that, like, every album is different than the prior album.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yet the
well, they
same.
change so much of what they do all the time. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Wish You Were Here is such a great album. And like I said, Welcome to the Machine, there's just so much energy in that song. It's
Oh,
just like, oh my. And there's, I mean, what
Well, even like
what is
have
there
a
like
cigar.
what is there like 12 words in the whole song?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. It's just, oh God, I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that one would be that's worthy of a cover at some point. And I have never heard anybody
How
cover
could you
Welcome
do
to the
that?
Machine.
I don't even want to see it. I don't want to hear a band cover that song.
I've actually I've never seen it, but I have several copies of the Foo Fighters doing Have a Cigar.
Have a Cigar.
And they do a damn good cover of Have a Cigar.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
do a
but
damn
I don't
good
want.
cover.
I don't want to see anybody do "Welcome to the Machine."
No.
I listened to you and Dana do the cover the cover song episode.
Yeah.
The cover song, and I your question was really cool at the beginning. Was or not really cool, whatever the fuck. No, your question was important at the beginning. Would you rather see a band when they do a cover song? Do you want to see a band do their own thing on a cover song, or do you want to see a band stay true to the original? You know what? There are some songs that bands shouldn't cover because they can't.
Yeah.
Stay true to the original.
I couldn't see anybody do a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Right. Smells Like Teen Spirit, Welcome to the Machine. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. I could name a list of Beatles songs.
For
sure. Name a list of Stone songs. Sympathy for the Devil. I don't want anyone to cover ever. And
Dude, did you ever? I know.
We covered it, and I fucking hated it.
Dude, did you ever hear Guns N' Roses cover of it? It was on the.
No.
It was on the. Interview with the Vampire. It was on that soundtrack. It was fucking awful.
Was it terrible?
It was the last full Guns N' Roses original lineup song that was ever recorded.
You know, I heard.
No, I take that back. Matt Sorum was on drums because Steven Adler had his stroke. He was wasted.
You know what I heard? And have you heard the Jane's Addiction cover of Sympathy for the Devil? It's terrible, and I love Jane's Addiction.
Which, oddly enough, their cover of the Grateful Dead's "Sympathy for the" Ripple. They did a cover of Ripple, which was actually really good.
Really, really good. Jane's Addiction was a great band. great band.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen them multiple times.
Yeah.
Never in their prime, but I saw them when they did their first reunion, and they were with Flea, played bass for them.
Okay.
At the Aragon.
Okay.
And Smashing Pumpkins were a special surprise opening act.
Ooh, nice.
At the Aragon. Yeah.
Nice.
That was a good show. It was a real good show.
I saw Pumpkins at the Aragon. I've seen Jane's Addiction twice. I saw them for the Lollapalooza, and then I saw them at Aragon with.
Yeah, but their Sympathy for the Devil was fucking awful.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. But that Catacomb, now it's called Catacombs album or whatever the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did it, it was just when I remember. When I bought the first CD, it was like I don't even remember what the fuck.
No, it's just called. It was just the self-titled.
I think it was called Jane's Addiction.
It was just self-titled Jane's Addiction.
And
so it was on Triple X Records.
And
yeah, 1%.
1% that was on it. And what a great album!
And a lot of those songs they ended up redoing for Ritual de Jalapeno.
Pigs and Zen.
Yeah, they did. Not Pigs and not Ritual. It was the album before that. Nothing Shocking.
Nothing Shocking. Yeah.
Because didn't they do L.A. Woman on that album as well? I think they did a cover of L.A. Woman on that album.
Possibly, I don't
But still,
remember.
again...
If they did, it was better than Sympathy for the Devil.
Well, it was also probably better than the Doors ever did it either, because fuck the Doors.
Oh, come on. Don't do that.
No, we had this discussion when Steve from Kiss the Sky in the Lost episode, which I will be editing and trying to get out. But for me, I don't know, man. I'm still not... Like, I have a bunch of Doors albums. I appreciate the Doors for what they were, but I don't think they were a great band whatsoever.
Okay. I have no problem with.
Because there
are bands you can appreciate for what they were.
Oh, absolutely, but I don't fucking care for them at all.
Right.
Oh, there are many.
Well,
many
there's
bands,
but not even so much that you don't care for them as much as like I appreciate the Doors for what they were. I'm just not a huge fan.
No.
Right. I mean, I you know. Yeah.
Dude, that first Doors album though, the Doors, the self-titled album was a great fucking record.
Oh yeah,
I will give them that.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Sun. Good record. Morrison Hotel.
Well, and this is going to bother you. I completely appreciate the Beatles for what they were.
Yeah, I know. I know you're not a huge Beatles fan, though.
I'm a fucking Stones guy.
Yeah. Well, because you like that dirty underbelly, though.
That's right. I want that little bit of blues grit dirt in it.
Did you hear the Stones' newest album, though? The one that they just released probably within the last 6 months?
I don't even want to.
Honestly, like from people
Is Keith Richards still alive?
Oh, yeah. Dude, Keith Richards will always be alive. He will outlast nuclear radiation.
Keith Richards is a cockroach.
Yeah. But no, from people whom I respect and I
Really?
trust their judgment, the last Stones album that just came out, they went back to their R&B and blues roots.
Okay.
And I hear it's fucking awesome.
I will give it a listen. I can't imagine that these 175-year-old men are going to be,
Dude, honestly though,
rocking the way that they were. And
I can see them do it though, man. Dude, look at Keith Richards, or not Keith Richards. Keith Richards just stands there like a statue for most of the show.
yes.
But Mick Jagger, that guy works out twice a day.
Well, he's still. I mean, even when you see them, he still has he's got more energy on stage than
he's
a
got more
lot of
energy than
guys who
I
are
do.
a-
And he's
a
like
quarter
300
of
years
his age.
older than I am.
At least
But
300 years
you know what
older
though?
than you
Maybe
are.
he's a Highlander, and he gets his energy from banging 20-year-old models.
It's entirely possible.
There can only be one, and he's the one, and he's banging all the 20-year-old models.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't know, man.
Honestly, though, I would probably pay to see them again if they ever came back to Chicago.
Oh, I would pay to see the Stones because I've never seen the Stones. There's two bands that right now, if I could see tomorrow, I would go, despite the fact that I know I would be thoroughly disappointed. The Rolling Stones and ZZ Top.
Honestly, I don't think you would be disappointed with either. Because honestly, really, the Stones have been doing the same thing that they've
It's
been
the same
doing
thing forever.
since
and
1964.
Mick Jagger's still going to run all over the stage in a pair of tight jeans.
And if you look
whatever,
if you look at ZZ Top,
they're going to stand on stage. They're going to spin their guitars. They're going
And
to
they're
play
gonna
Sharp
play-
Dressed Man and Lagrange.
you know what though?
And
I don't
everyone's
think
going to
they
be
do.
happy.
I don't know if they do. Like they might.
I don't want to
they-
hear him play Sharp Dressed Man anyway. I want
They
to hear
might
him play
do-
Lagrange.
They
and I
might
wanna
play
hear him
Lagrange, but ZZ Top, they're just going to go out there. They're going to do their blues
Yeah,
rock thing, and they're
which
going
is
to do
fine.
it.
That's all I want to see anyway.
Dude, they've been doing the same thing for 40
Yeah.
fucking years, man.
Yeah.
I think their first album came out in 73.
72 or 73.
Yeah,
was,
Trace Hombres came
Trace
out in
Hombres, yeah.
in 73, I believe.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a solid album. Dude, Waiting on the Bus, Jesus Just
Waiting on
Left
the
for
Bus, Jesus-
Chicago. Oh, dude, you don't get any better than that. That is just
that's
straight
good
up
shit.
Texas
That's
blues,
great up.
man.
That's great, straight up Texas blues. You're absolutely right, and that's why I love those guys so much. I mean, that's why I love their music so
seriously,
much.
man.
And
I love those guys. I would,
Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, because so we live in the suburbs of Chicago, and every summer in one of the other suburbs called Naperville, they have their Rib Fest. And for the last 20, 30 years, or however long they've done it, you pay your money, you go in, and then you could just sit down and see the live bands that were playing. Well, within the last 2 or 3 years, they decided, oh, you know what? We're going to charge a premium, so you're going to have to pay to see the bands that are headlining or even playing that year. So I've not gone because I think it was 2 years ago they had ZZ Top was playing.
yeah, I did not go.
I've had some beers.
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow, that she played.
And I'm a huge Sheryl Crow.
I like
fan.
Sheryl Crow.
I
I've seen
love
her
Sheryl
several times.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not going to pay to get into Ribfest and then turn around and pay to see Sheryl Crow.
That's a trend, though, man. That's a trend. These bands and these acts that were that are, let's be honest, 20 to 30 years past their prime, right? I mean, you've got bands like Styx and Kansas and ZZ Top and Sheryl Crow and whoever
Which,
they are.
oddly enough, all of the bands that you've just mentioned, with the exception of Sheryl Crow and ZZ Top, all are like maybe one original member of the band.
Right. But
this is the new state fair circuit.
But that's my point. That's my point, right? Is you've got these this is the trend. You've got these bands that are minimum, and it's hard for me to think that it's 2017. 20 years ago was 97.
Dude,
Jeez.
seriously. Well, that's
Dana
the
just
whole
did
Dana's
that episode.
last broadcast. Like,
yeah.
But like, I just had
But-
my 20th year prior to that. Holy shit, dude!
I'm so far out of high school. I don't even want to talk about 29 years. Next year will be 30 years.
Seriously?
Next year will be. I graduated in 88.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking
No.
old. Yeah, I graduated high school in 88.
Well, I'm trying
pretty
to, like,
sure.
I'm trying to
I'm
do the
pretty
math.
sure.
Here. No, I'm just
pretty
trying to do
sure
the
I know
math.
when
I'm
I
like, damn,
graduated.
you graduated 88. You graduated
88.
God damn.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Yep.
8 years before I did.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh no, but that's the trend, is these bands that are 20 to 30 years past their prime are now going out and they're playing these county fair circuits where they're whether it's Rib Fest or it's Prairie Fest in Oswego where I live or wherever else, they're doing these. Like I just heard Jesse Valenzuela, whatever the fuck his name is, from Gin Blossoms on an interview. He was on a Corollas podcast.
Okay.
And he was talking about how, they do all these shows with Spin Doctors and Kansas and all this shit, and I'm just like, God, that's
dude, I hold a special place
year.
in my I hold a special place in my heart for the Spin Doctors, man.
Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Dude, that first album was incredible.
It was really good. Yeah.
I saw them when they did their first reunion tour, because after Pocket Full of Kryptonite, they came out with.
Did he still have the afro?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
He kind of looked more like he looked more like the pictures from the inside cover of the album than he did from the Two Princes video. Which, if you know what I'm talking about, on the inside cover of the Spin Doctors record, he looked like this clean cut guy that just got off of Wall Street that came down to record an album. And then he saw Two Princes video, and he's this dude that looks like you guys scraped him off of your shoe at a fish show.
He was a homeless dude. Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, that was a great album, though.
Like Michael Schenker, who was their guitar player for the first two records.
Was that Michael Schenker?
Not Michael Shankar. Hold on. What did I say it was Michael Schenker? Sorry, it was Eric Shankman. But that guy is one of my... Like him and John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, God, dude.
Are one of my... Those two guys are probably my two biggest influences as a guitar player. Because they have that funk that's in them.
Yeah.
Like Eric Shankman from Spin Doctors, there was some funk that was going on behind that dirty blues that he played.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and there was that funk that John Frusciante had in the early, during the Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magic era.
Yeah. Oh, well, even before that. I mean,
those were
Uplift Mofo Party Plan.
That was not him. He was not on that.
Oh, no, that's right. That was
that was
what's
Hillel
his name?
Slovak.
Hillel Slovak, who died heroin overdose. Right. Don't do heroin, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I've said many times, we don't advocate or disadvocate drugs, but kids, don't do the heroin.
Heroin is not. I've seen people do heroin. Don't do heroin.
No. Don't be that guy.
No.
But yeah, like he is seriously one of my favorite guitar players, and I never got to see him play until. God, it was like 2000, 2001, something like that. But the Spin Doctors finally got back together to do a reunion tour. And it was the original lineup.
Oh, wow.
And because, it was weird. We're going to have to split this probably in 2 episodes. But
shit, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's a good conversation.
Am I going long?
No, we all go long, sir. But the first 2 albums... The World is Upside... Spin Doctors Pocket Full of Kryptonite, and then The World is Upside Down were the original lineup. And then after that, everybody just started dropping off. And then the drummer ended up playing, all the instruments on the record.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Really? And I own all those records just because I'm a fan.
Well, because you're a fan of the band. And the first album was great.
Dude, that first album was incredible. The second album...
But, dude, you talk about funk, and you talk about funk rock, and I forget what I was... I'm gonna piss you off here. You're gonna get angry.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. You're gonna get angry in a second. I forget what I was watching. I forget what I was. I might have been the Grammys or years ago. This might have been 10 years ago or whatever. But they introduced the band and they said, "Oh, and here the kings of funk." Rock, Maroon 5, and I fucking lost it. I fucking lost my mind. And I remember sitting there with my wife. I remember sitting there with Gayla at the time, and I as soon as they said it, I'm like, fuck! Those people know who the Red Hot Chili Peppers are?
Seriously, dude.
Jesus Christ!
Dude, honestly, though...
Sorry.
But in all fairness, though... Maroon 5 is more funk rock than the Chili Peppers have been in the last 15 years.
Okay, in the last 15 years, but when you talk about...
But that's how long Maroon 5 has been around.
I guess, yeah.
At least the last 10 years, for sure.
But I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that you would... seriously, how could you introduce Maroon 5 that way.
Yeah, dude.
Like, just good Lord. But
like they've got a couple. Look, I'll give Maroon 5 a few things. They've got
Harder to Breathe is the best song they ever made.
They got a couple good songs.
I will give them that. Only song. It's the first song they ever made, and it's the best song they ever made.
They're not Train.
Well, Adam Levine thinks he is.
All right.
He thinks he's a professional vocalist.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Right. So yeah, fuck Maroon 5. Like I know somebody who's met Adam Levine personally.
Adam LaDouche.
Yeah, my buddy Taylor.
I don't think that's his real name.
No, but Taylor from The Orchard.
Oh yeah. Well, because he was on The Voice.
He was on The Voice.
Yeah.
Like that, and I never asked him about it, but you know, I don't like he's not. He doesn't have that great of a voice. Not Taylor, but Adam.
No, Taylor has a great voice.
No, Taylor's got an incredible voice, but
I don't appreciate Maroon 5 at all. I'm not a fan. Like I said, Harder to Breathe was probably their best song.
This Love is not a bad tune, but it's a pop tune. Like
it's
if you look at it through the lenses
all of their stuff is poppy.
It's pop.
After Harder to Breathe, all of their stuff is poppy.
Yeah,
and even
Harder to Breathe was
even
poppy.
Harder to Breathe.
It's
is a little poppy, but yeah, I'm just not a fan. I don't like what he does. I love and you know, we watched The Voice. And I swore I would never watch The Voice again after Taylor lost.
Right, dude, that was some bullshit right there.
So Ruben and I, we did both go to the Orchard for a long time.
The Orchard was the church, and I still go there, but it was the church that we'd gone to.
Right. We're at a church in
Aurora,
Plainfield,
Illinois.
Now. Well, yeah,
you guys are. Yeah,
we're going to church in Plainfield now, but we used to go to the Orchard all the time, and yeah, I mean.
Dude, like I said, the first time I ever played with... And Taylor, we're talking about Taylor Phelan, who played with...
who is...
an incredible talent.
Got some great stuff. And if in the even the stuff he did for The Voice, where he did the sweater song... and
Dude, yeah. And I hate those
sweater
songs.
Song.
Yeah, it was the sweater. It wasn't the Buddy
song?
Holly song.
It's not Buddy Holly.
It wasn't the Weezer sweater song, but it was it was Sweater from whomever shitty pop artist.
Whatever
does
shitty.
It.
It's not
Sweater Weather.
If you
the song was called
to
Sweater Weather.
My sweater.
No,
not that one.
No, but the song was called Sweater Weather, I think.
Sweater Weather, that's it. Yeah.
But it was a good tune. It's
a great tune, and he did a great job with it.
Yeah, and I hate the original, but I like his version of it.
Yeah, no, I really do. I actually bought all of his
stuff
off of.
But he released an album not too long ago, like a full length that wasn't bad. You know,
no, he's
he was also with a band called the Canes. You can find their stuff on iTunes. Taylor Phelan and the Canes. But dude, that Canes album was ridiculous, dude. That was a great.
He's really
EP.
good. He's really talented, and but no, I don't think Adam Levine, and I just don't appreciate the and like I said, that's what I was saying. We watched The Voice, and you know, I dig the whole relationship that him and Blake Shelton have going, and I'm kind of a country guy. You know that. I mean, my most recent band is a country band, and
he likes the Florida Georgia Line.
So no, I'm
not
a big fan of country's boy band. No, sorry.
I got one of my cousins is like all excited because she's got tickets. I'm like, Florida Georgia Line. That's an awful long way to just go see a band. Dude, she lives like right outside of Tulsa or right outside of Oklahoma City now.
They were oh god. They weren't bad when they first came out, and then there's something with country music, and there's something with what's going on in Nashville where like anybody with talent, they just like that music industry sucks them in and makes them into this fucking nightmare. For
I don't know. Zach Brown Band has been pretty consistent.
Zach Brown Band was pretty consistent.
Did you ever hear the Grohl sessions that he did?
Yeah,
it's fucking not bad.
He did some really good stuff. Chris Stapleton is really good. If you haven't heard him, he's really really good, and he's kind of stayed true to what he wanted to do. I don't know if you saw, he did a duet with him and Justin Timberlake.
Dude,
I'm a huge fan of, and don't...
No. I'm not talking shit. Like, dude, I appreciate Justin Timberlake. The kid's got talent, man.
Dude, I'm a huge
and
he's got
the humility. You know, like, he doesn't take himself too seriously. If you listen to anything that he's done with, like, The Lonely Island.
Right.
Dude,
I know. Dude, it's great.
To hear him singing Helicopter Dig, Helicopter Dig, Helicopter Dig. Dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I wouldn't consider myself like a fan, but I dig Justin Timberlake, man. That kid's like of all. Well, I wouldn't say of all of the NSYNC kids because Joey Fatone.
Okay, yeah, was
Dude,
he an NSYNC guy?
He was the fat one.
Okay, he might have been. It might have been.
Well,
Joey
Fatone is his last name, Fat One, Fatone. But he was the big guy of the group.
Okay,
and I've heard him on multiple podcasts and whatnot with Brian Quinn from the Impractical Jokers.
Okay,
but he's good friends with them, and he's been on several episodes of like Tell 'Em Steve Dave and What Say You, dude. The guy's hilarious.
Yeah,
like between Joey Fatone and like it's weird to like. Parts, but not the whole. But of the whole boy band scene, I will give NSYNC what they had, man. Dude, they had some pretty.
Dude,
they had a couple pretty decent songs.
I mean, some
man.
of those boy bands, and I just made fun of Florida Georgia Line for being
a country boy band,
right? I mean, Rascal Flatts was the first country boy band, but
wasn't there a Chicken Rascal Flatts?
There was a chick? No, I don't think so.
No, what's the one I'm thinking of?
I don't know. No, you're thinking of shit. I know who you're thinking of too. But
Lady Antebellum.
Lady Antebellum. Yeah, no, there's still two chicks in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But what was this? Oh, but the boy bands. I mean, yeah, their harmonies are.
Dude, they can sing.
I mean, that's what makes a boy band, right? Is the harmonies.
Those kids can sing.
They can sing, and that's.
But you know, it's interesting that the boy bands they're touring on nostalgia now, like New Kids on the Block and
New Kids on the Block and
Boys to Men and stuff are touring again. And
Boys to Men, talk about harmonies,
dude.
Holy
but
hell.
Weird. Like the crazy thing is, like one of the guys actually is no longer touring with them, no recording with them or nothing. Like
okay, so now they're only a fucking 4-part harmony,
three-part
harmony,
but still,
okay,
like
big deal.
And I think Dana said she saw him recently, and she said that they were excellent. She said that on one of the previous podcasts on her solo episode.
I'm not surprised.
No,
I mean,
but yeah, but you don't see those anymore. Like, there's not any boy bands anymore. There's not any girl groups anymore.
They're all in country. They're all in country music.
Are they in country now?
Yeah.
It's migrated
there's
to
a ton
country?
of them in country music.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's the one genre I wouldn't fuck with your dick. So.
No, there's a ton of them in country music, and that's where all of this, and that's why I say, like, you know, the whole Nashville scene and what Nashville has done to music is taken pop and country, and it's kind of melded this. Melded, is that a word?
Melded, yes, that's the word.
Is that the word?
That's proper.
It's kind of melded these two genres into like this. I don't even know what you call it, but it's not because it's not.
It's country. Pop country.
It's pop country. It's not because you don't have the Hank Williams and the Charlie Daniels and the Alan Jackson.
No, you don't have those
cocaine
fueled country
right,
artists anymore.
Right. Well, Alan Jackson wasn't a cocaine fueled country artist. He was very. But you know when I think.
But isn't Alan Jackson acting now?
I don't know.
I think Alan Jackson.
I know
was
he's not
cheating
on his wife anymore.
Is she dead?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just not cheating on her anymore.
No,
he's
Jackson
just decided he's going to be a faithful.
Wasn't Alan Jackson he was the guy that was in Sling Blade? He played
maybe
he played the dad.
No, that's Dwight Yoakam.
It was Dwight Yoakam. Okay, because he was also.
I don't heard nobody, but that was it.
Because he was also in Panic Room as well.
Yeah. No, that was Dwight Yoakam. And Dwight Yoakam, I mean, he's very twang, but that's the same.
See,
genre.
for me, like country, I'm like there is a very delineation, like black and white with country for me. It's either the Janis and Dwights and those twangy country folks that like you hear in a sad bar. And then there's like this boy band shit, like everything that's coming out now. It's the twangy rock and roll.
That's all you get now. It's twangy rock and roll.
And I don't like that twangy rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it was all the years that I grew up in a bar with my folks, you know, and all they played was like that fucking old twangy, like true, quote unquote, true country and western music.
Real, yeah.
You know,
the real stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, you know, you get Waylon and
Waylon
the original
and
Four
Willie
Horsemen
and
the what was it? Not the Four Horsemen. That was fucking professional wrestling. What was Waylon and Johnny Cash and
there may have been a term for them. I don't know, but
no, they released
Waylon,
fucking
Willie,
albums
Johnny
with
Cash.
Willie. Yeah, all those guys.
Okay, possibly. I don't know.
The Highwaymen. The Highwaymen.
Okay.
That era of stuff, man. Like that was like that's country to me. Everything
sure.
else is just rock and roll with a fucking twang.
No, and that's
and
all
it's not
modern
even
country
good
is.
rock and roll.
You're absolutely right, and that's all modern country is, and that's, you know, these guys, and I mean, you get these guys like who are the big guys now, right? Jason Aldean is the big one, and
is Brad Paisley still a thing?
Brad Paisley's still a thing, but Brad Paisley's real legit. I mean, Brad Paisley's legit. He's the real deal. He's twangy, and I mean, if you have any sort of appreciation for the old school country music and the old school twang, Brad Paisley's the real deal. He's
because really the only thing I knew about him was
sick guitar player.
Really,
fucking ridiculous.
Because the only thing I really know about him wasn't he engaged or married to Renee Zellweger? And then
no, you're thinking of somebody Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney.
Oh, okay. Wasn't he gay?
That's the rumor.
Okay.
That's the rumor, but I don't. Nobody sue me.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, and please don't sue me. I'm just saying that's the rumor I've heard. No, Brad Paisley is married to the girl from Father of the Bride. And she was in the one with the sitcom with Jim Belushi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whatever the hell that was. Yeah,
nobody watched it.
Yeah,
nobody watched it, but a bunch of people that kept it on the air.
I watched a couple episodes. But
one of the many CBS comedies.
right. But the country music, man. I mean, it's the new stuff is just, I don't know. I mean, I dig the Jason Aldean stuff. I think because he's kind of more rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky, what a horrible word. He's kind of more.
Yo, Adrian, we got the country music wrestling.
He's kind of more.
Mickey, you gotta cut me.
And there's a couple. There's a couple other guys that aren't too bad, but I mean, some of this stuff like the Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan is the big deal right now in country music, and oh god,
yeah, my cousin's way into him.
Oh man, have you seen the Uncle Rob video on YouTube?
Nope.
Uncle Rob's got I don't know if you know who Uncle Rob is. Uncle Rob is a YouTube account where he just blows shit up, and it's cool. But he's got a video talking about how to listen to Luke Bryan, and he talks about something like, you know, hey, you take the CD, you put it in your CD player, then you take the CD player, you drop it into a bucket of gasoline, then you set the gasoline on fire, and you listen to Skinner like a real man.
Did he do the same thing with Nickelback?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the Nickelback one. That one was awesome.
He does the same thing with Luke Bryan.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Because he had like this whole like Rube Goldberg machine set up where like it starts firing like far away from his trailer, and then it blows up
blows up the shit. Yeah, it's the same shit.
Actually, I got played on one of my favorite podcasts right now called The Drunk Ex-Pastors.
Okay.
And it was right after Harambe, the gorilla, got shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they wasting all
# something Harambe, right?
Yeah.
That was the big thing for a while.
And my whole thing was, why did they kill one Silverback when they could have gone up to Canada and there's 5 Nickelbacks that they could have chosen from?
Oh, man.
Stupid Nickelback. Although they do have...
I saw them.
Did you?
I saw Nickelback.
I'm sorry.
I know, it was bad.
Were they playing with other people, or did you intentionally go to see them?
I gotta remember.
Tell me it was your wife. Tell me your wife wanted to go see them.
No. I went with a guy who we both know.
Was it Jason?
Yeah.
I'm going to hit him up about that when I have him on the show.
You know, when you have Jason on, ask him about the Nickelback show.
Tell me they at least had a good opening artist.
I don't even remember who it was. It was just, I want to say, oh, God.
It's like them in Theory of a Dead Man, which were like...
You know what? That was right. That was the opening act.
Really?
It was Theory of a Dead Man.
You know what? 2 Canadian artists that sound exactly the same.
They're the exact same band.
Because I saw Theory of a Dead Man. I was working for Sam Goody back in like 2002. I was working in California. It's when I lived out in California, and I was a manager of a Sam Goody store out there. And we had our Christmas trade show in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I got in a van with a bunch of other Sam Goody managers of the Southern California area, and we went out to Vegas to Caesar's Palace to this big trade show, and we saw Queen Latifah was there, which was awesome.
Oh man!
And then they had LL Cool J came out, so I've seen LL Cool J. That was awesome. And then they brought out Theory of a Dead Man, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen photos of this band or whatever, but the lead singer looked like the Edge from U2.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, these guys kind of look like U2. And then they sounded like Nickelback. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna go back to my room and just.
They were discovered by Nickelback.
They
were a Canadian band that was discovered by Nickelback, and they were just awful.
They were like, hey, you guys sound like us, eh?
We
should go do a tour together.
They had
we've got beer, eh?
They had one ironically good song, which was
no, they didn't.
No, they really did.
No.
They had come on. They had that what was it? I Hate My Life or something.
No, that was Nickelback.
No, that was Theory of a Dead Man. Okay, yeah, I get the joke now. No, well, you know what? I make fun of Nickelback as much as the next guy, but
as well you should.
And they're awful, and every song is the exact same.
They had that one song against domestic violence, that Never Against song, that was actually not a bad tune. Other than that, the rest of the shit, I like your pants around your waist. I'm like, what? I like your panties around your knees. I'm like, this is on fucking MTV? This is the same people that bleeped out the word goddamn. And they're like, okay, you can't say goddamn, but I'm going to talk about
But I'm going to talk about
raping you.
I'm going to talk about raping you in the front seat of a car.
Maybe Bill Cosby owned part of it. I'm going to get this band $100 million worth of pudding pops.
Nickelback, they wrote some. You got to admit, they wrote some damn good hooks.
Hooks, yes. Songs, no.
Whether you like them or not, they sold a fucking bajillion albums
to retarded people.
I understand that, but when you half the country's
look at this
retarded,
photograph. What the hell was on Johnny's head?
I just called half the country retarded on your podcast. That you're going to have to edit out.
No, I'm not going to, because that's not getting edited out, because it's true. And I'm sorry if you like Nickelback. Sorry.
Man, I don't. But I haven't. I mean, I don't like Nickelback, but I appreciate what it's.
I mean,
and
look,
I know, there's another one that I know you hate, and it's for the same reason. Jimmy Buffett, man,
fuck him.
I understand.
Look, you know what? I will say this:
but come
Jimmy
on.
Buffett is a hell of a guitar player. He's a hell of a guitar player.
All right. I'm not sure I agree with you on that, but go ahead.
Well, no, I have a Fish tribute album where they do a cover, where Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reef Band do a cover of Gumbo.
Oh, okay.
And he is the lead guitar player of his band. And, dude, they do a stellar cover of that fucking song,
if
man.
all you've been doing is playing guitar for the past 50 years, I would hope that
I don't know if,
guitar player.
I really hate Jimmy Buffett because he sucks, because he does. Or I hate Jimmy Buffett because I associate him with the Young Republicans Club from my high school. Because it was all like, everybody I knew that was in the Young Republicans Club, they would all go to see Jimmy Buffett and get wasted up at the shows and then talk about it later. And I'm like, oh, all you guys suck and I hate you all.
Jimmy Buffett is this. I mean, it's the same stuff over
honestly,
and over and over.
dude,
and over.
seriously,
it's island music. It's
like if I have to, you know what else? You know what else is island music?
Bob Marley, Peter
yes.
Tosh.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is good stuff.
Which is good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, fuck you, Jimmy Buffett. You're with your cheeseburger in paradise. You can shove it up your asshole sideways. I don't give a shit.
I mean,
I know Riemann's our buddy Riemann is a huge parrot head.
He's a big parrot head. Big. Listen,
there's no accounting for bad taste.
I have an appreciation for Jimmy Buffett for what he can do and for what he does. I mean, it's
no, and I'll give him that. It ain't my cup of tea.
No, it not.
Isn't.
I'm not sitting around listening to the greatest hits of Jimmy Buffett for 3.
He has hits.
Well.
Aside from Cheeseburger in Paradise?
Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Margaritaville.
I mean, there's a few others.
See, that's another one, like karaoke in college. Everybody was
now.
Singing, like, I don't give a fuck where the goddamn salt is. You know? How many times did I have to hear that in college?
How
Where's
many
the salt?
times
Where's
I
the
have to know where
goddamn
the
salt?
Salt,
Shut up.
salt. And then people would scream that,
Yeah. Ugh.
right? Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, granted, okay.
I would rather hear somebody badly sing No Doubt.
Yeah, but No Doubt was pretty good.
Yeah, but I would rather hear someone sing it badly than listen to fucking Jimmy
Okay,
Buffett sing it
yeah,
normally.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jimmy Buffett is not. It's not. If I'm stranded on a desert island, God, if I'm stranded on a desert island,
I would
be
pith
so
my
awesome.
ears so that I would be deaf and not have to hear Jimmy Buffett.
No, but if I'm stranded on a desert island, Jimmy Buffett is not in the. If you told me I could take 100 CDs with me, Jimmy Buffett's not in that list.
Jimmy Buffett wouldn't be in the first 1,000 CDs with me. You could give me an entire record store and it would not have a Jimmy Buffett album in it.
Oh man.
I hate him so much.
You really do. You really.
Oh.
There's something deeply personal there. We should explore that.
At some point, we
should
probably
get the
will.
couch
I
and
should probably get some therapy, and we will discuss it with my therapist.
figure out exactly why you hate Jimmy Buffett.
Dude, seriously, Kirsten and I were
Did
coming
you have
home.
a dog that died that liked Jimmy Buffett or something?
Dude, honestly, Kirsten and I were coming back from Jamaica from our baby moon before Grayson was born, because that's a thing. I don't know if
Baby
you,
moon.
Yeah,
What's baby moon?
It's when you go and you have a vacation before the baby comes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's that thing
I didn't
now.
know that was such a thing.
Well, not when
I got to
your
talk
kids
to
were born.
I got to talk to my wife when I get home. Apparently,
You need to knock
I
her up
missed
again.
out on a couple of no, no, God, no! I'm gonna stab you in the freaking chest.
But yeah, so we were coming back, and we were in the airport in Kingston, and I think that was the only restaurant in the entire place was Jimmy
Margaritaville.
Buffett's Margaritaville.
Oh.
Oh my God. Shitty music, shitty food, a shitty margarita.
Oh God.
Oh, it was terrible.
We went to Cabo last year, and when we went to Cabo, somebody said, "Oh, you got to make sure you go to Hagar's place." Right?
I'd go to Hagar's place at least
Sammy
once
Hagar.
for
What the hell's the name of the place?
Cabo Wabo.
Cabo Wabo. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm just not a big Sammy Hagar fan. I don't know what it is.
I'd
Like,
go at least once to experience it. It's
we
like going to the Rock.
didn't go. We went to the Kiss place, like Gene Simmons' place down
He's
there.
got a place?
Gene Simmons has a place down there. I forget the name of it.
The
but
Dragon's Tongue, probably.
probably big ass tongue. Yeah, I forget the name of the place, but he's got a place down there.
Really?
There's all kind of Kiss memorabilia on the wall, and all
Dude,
kind of stuff.
everything.
It's pretty cool.
Like this bottle is Kiss memorabilia
Dude,
at this point.
Kiss was a brand. They were
Dude.
a brand more than they were a band. And you
Yeah.
know what? God bless Gene Simmons for doing that,
Dude,
because
I will give. You know what? He may have been a shitty musician, but he was a marketing genius.
give him props for what he was. He
He's
knew he was a shitty musician.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he knew he was a marketing genius.
Absolutely.
And he's just made a brand out of that band that is just
Unbelievable.
my God. I mean, and they have, and despite that, there's still probably more Kiss songs that I'll listen to than Jimmy Buffett's
This is true. Absolutely.
I'll
Kiss
listen to
Destroyer
Cold
is one of the
Gin.
greatest albums ever.
Give me a chance, and I'll listen to Cold Gin over Margaritaville anytime.
No doubt. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because we're hitting the 2-hour mark at this point. So chances are
Crap.
I'm breaking this up into 2 episodes.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize, man. It was a good conversation. But so just, I don't think you're on social media anymore, are you?
I am not. I have no social media accounts.
All right. So
anywhere.
Tom used to be at TBJanis
You cannot
at
find me.
Twitter.
Don't
but
look at that.
Don't look at that because it's gone
it's
now.
not me anymore.
Yeah, and then
Some other guy.
His Facebook is gone, so don't even worry about it. The only time you'll hear from him is here.
This is it.
But thanks for coming on, man. I do appreciate it. I know
man.
it's been a couple near misses here recently to
Yeah.
get you on, but dude, it's been a great conversation. I'm glad that you've come by.
I'm thankful for you having me. I
Anytime,
appreciate it.
brother.
It's this is a blast, man. I'd do this anytime, and
Absolutely. Well,
maybe next time I won't talk for 2 hours.
Hey, well, maybe next time we can get Dana in, and she'll actually be here, and we could talk for 3 hours.
That'd be I'm in.
Right on,
Let me
man.
know.
Well, but again, man, I really appreciate you coming by tonight. So for Pop Goulash, I'm Ruben Hood.
I'm Tom Janis.
And be kind to each other.